Please tell us a story.
So, today's story promises to be really interesting. Are you ready? Once upon a time, in a small village called Ntwala, everyone was big and round. The people believed that being fat was a sign of good health and wealth. In fact, they saw being slim as something bad, like a curse. One day, a baby girl named Lina was born in the village. But Lina was different. She was slim, with small arms and legs, not round like everyone else. The villagers began to whisper, calling her cursed. She doesn't look like us, they said. She will bring bad luck. As Lina grew, people in the village didn't want to be near her. The children refused to play with her, and even the adults would move away when she came close. Even though her parents loved her, they also felt ashamed because of the way the people treated her. Lina was always sad. She would sit under a tree near the river, watching other children play, but no one ever invited her to join. Sometimes she would look at her reflection in the water and wonder why she was different. She wished she could be like everyone else. One day, Lina was sitting by the river. An old woman appeared. This woman was new to the village and no one had seen her before. She sat next to Lina and asked, "Why are you crying, my child?" "I am different from everyone else," Lina said. "They say I am cursed because I am not as big and fat like them." The old woman smiled and said, "You are not cursed. Everyone is made different for a reason. One day, you will see that your difference is a blessing." Lina did not fully understand what the old woman meant, but her words gave Lina a little hope. From then on, she tried to ignore the hurtful things people said and kept to herself, finding peace in nature. Years passed, and Lina grew into a young woman, still slim but strong. So one year, a terrible thing happened in the village. The river dried up, the crops dried, and soon there was no food left. The people who were big and heavy found it hard to travel far to look for help or food. They were too slow and tired. The village elders called a meeting and said, "We need someone to cross the mountains and find food and water. But the journey is long and dangerous. Who will go?" No one wanted to volunteer. The paths were narrow and steep, and the journey required more speed and agility. The big-bodied villagers knew they couldn't make it. Lena stood up and said, "Let me go." The villagers started laughing. You? You're too small and weak. How can you survive a journey?" But Lena was determined. "I know the forest and the mountains very well," she said. "My small body will help me move quickly and fit through tight spaces. Let me try." With no other options, the elders reluctantly agreed. Early the next morning, Lina set out her journey. Because she was light on her feet, she moved quickly through the forest, climbing steep hills and crossing narrow paths in the mountains. Her slim size helped her get through difficult places that others would have struggled with. After days of walking, Lena found a hidden valley full of food and fresh river flowing through it. She gathered as much food and water as she could carry and hurried back to the village. When Lena returned, the villagers were shocked. The same girl they once called Curse has now saved their life. She brought enough food and water to keep the village alive until the rain returned. From that day on, the people of Ntwala no longer called Lena cursed. They realized that her slimness, which they had once mocked, was actually the very thing that had saved them. They learned to respect her and never judge anyone by their looks again. Lina, who had once been sad and lonely, was now happy and proud of how she was. She understood that being different wasn't a bad thing, it was her greatest strength. This story teaches us that we should never look down on someone just because they are different. What makes someone stand out may one day be what helps everyone. Everyone has their own gifts, and those gifts can be a blessing to the community. So tell me, what did you learn from this story? Would you want more stories like this? Kindly let me know in the comment section. Thank you very much for listening. Kindly subscribe, like, comment, and share with your family and friends. See you on the next episode. Bye.